so the latest kakra wo hono e de abantiken yatna see the transfers no updates stories details de ye no kra de anya no kra ni nyina no ye de eba ma men sha asem fam free Germany Bayern for nano Saturday na ken me de ba tu dwa say omo prepare omo second official bid e de akọ Liverpool for Luis Diaz me ne wo ka say Bayern for omo second bid omo prepare no ken 70 million euros for Luis Diaz. The first bidder Bayern for the call Liverpool for so ye man Liverpool for reject say no. Na 67 million euros. 67 million euros. And the Bayern for first offer from the come Liverpool for Luis Diaz. Liverpool for reject say bid no. And then Bayern for prepare almost second bid 70 million euros. Omo they call Liverpool for Luis Diaz. Na Bayern for say omo ogidie say Liverpool for ebeje sa 70 million euros na tun because omo share iska Liverpool for spend or transfer marketer. E was so mutimi balance omo books no omo balance omo books no omo Bayern for the 70 million euros eba Liverpool for Luis Diaz omo ogidie say Liverpool for besom. So the second bid from the Bavarians Bayern 70 million euros omo dey call Liverpool for aso eye. Na Meche Saudi to just say Real Madrid for after Toni Kroos omo pe controller. Na Madrid for midfielders omo Alistair no yate Mark Alistair din, Rodrigo Cascante yate ni din, Nicolo Barella ana Enzo Fernandez. Sa for midfielders we yate omo din say Real Madrid for so beti benyam baako amena ba be she mfimfio no di control e di aba. Na kini hwehwe mu a eba no. Madrid for say no omo mpese on betis kakesi ehu bia sa for now because omunya nton kese na sa four players no mudi mbeto odwa no omo hu ne se Rodrigo Cascante a o si akan de Manchester City no ne contract enche bia beba wie 2027 Manchester City for person mo renew Rodri e contract e de ma no se omo renew a ebema o kopena e ho be ye den because ata na years ni bi wonanim. So say Real Madrid for pay controller among four players na die obeka say omun kotues kakese pan ebe Rodrigo Cascante because of the contract duration no 2027 na no na yesa Real Madrid mpanyimfo ni bi so ka say da bi because project no more Real Madrid for ba be no e was a project na the next 3 to 5 years project Rodrigo Cascante e was 29 years enche bi o 30 years. And it's our project for the next 3 to 5 years, no. A bad day for Rodri so betima fitting in because of the age and to be only 30 years, no. And almost says player, Obeka say age one aside, no. Enzo Fernandez. Among the four players, I say Real Madrid for a short list, no. Section of Real Madrid for board no say player age I want aside. The next 3 to 4 years, Obetima be share Real Madrid team. I'm obetima build this our project, no. Enzo Fernandez. Now Enzo Fernandez, no. On only age no form by problem e wo ho ne say on so a long term contract with Chelsea to 2032 and to play a contract with Chelsea to 2032 no o kotona is kan wo soro enti assistance now Real Madrid paying for the hu de omoye Rodrigo Cascante no msi ni age e wo anim Enzo Fernandez and the age no form no msi the contract e wo anim enti e hwede e ba akwa akosie na keme no ka say Marcus Rashford obi enim say the Barcelona or Barcelona for a player. Na Marcus Rashford in sense no ken. At the country of Barcelona go in for Marcus Rashford na 2 reasons. The first reason Barcelona go in for Marcus Rashford, Barca decided say omo sign a winger more than 60 million euros. And omo share available options no. Luis Diaz next can was through. Players omo ko ni na next can was through. They now because relatively making economic sense and Barcelona Marcus Rashford. And you say Hansi Flick catch Barcelona from paying for say on person obetwen biem because on pre-season e be chase enti enimanimu ya no omo fa Marcus Rashford mbra say omo nya player bi a is can omo ntimi ngotua omo nko fa Marcus Rashford mbra. So the reason why Barcelona go in for Marcus Rashford say Barca no omo pesu metua players more than 60 million euros. And Hansi Flick catch omo say omo fa winger ne mbra ntem no fa nko in the pre-season. And the reason why Marcus Rashford, Obekaya, Fanabachi call Rashford, Juve kon Inter kon. Na yese Marcus Rashford or smart. O hunsa ba sentiment for Luis Diaz. enti okache omo pɛ Marcus Rashford ni nyina na ye say okache Fenerbahce Inter ana Juve say mun hold on because ojidi se Barca ntimi nsan Luis Diaz enti ono ankasa nya abotre de man ho ana de etoso ye say Marcus Rashford e ka kire ni nua be ma na okoshi adeko no e say ojidi se Hansi Flick e betima sama ne form na ba because ohun se wa ma Rafinha de aba Inigo Martinez de aba Frankie de Jong de aba enti so okobo under Hansi Flick ne form ne be so that was the reason why o decide say ne salary no obeto so 15%. Enti Marcus Rashford oji 15.6 million pounds for Manchester. O the buy euros are 80 million euros or till so 15% no. Obeji 40 million euros and only a gross ye nyante ne tax no. Ya tete ne tax ni bibia no obeji 7 million euros e wo Barcelona. Oni Rafinha and about the same skill about is Ketuana. Say Rashford obeji Scars and Kundi. Obeji asen Pedri. Obeji asen Araujo. Obeji asen Gavi.
Very sure.
Aye. Say what is 15% no?
15.
Yes, oba beji 40 million euros. I don't need a gross.
Kwame, ebi mfa baby. We are sure so ometu ya Marcus Rashford and Pedro. We are sure so ometu 14 million gross, 7 million net.
Net.
Okay, boy, we feature us.
Joao Felix.
Later on, we will say no more. Just say. They
didn't do 2 million.
Less than 400,000.
And when you Barcelona for
man so measurable crowd power that.
Sane agro.
No play open Barca, you don't know much as can.
So
on the power.
Enti obi anim de adi no obi by so far the aba bonten no.
Okay.
Barca de no ticket. Se Barcelona so option to buy no say o mentimi antua size kana and e be to say Chelsea ne Sancho de ni bi o betua penalty de ama Manchester United. E be say Sancho de na bia. So assistance now the free or urban no. Now when him say what the two just say Renato Viaga. Aka yes a Atletico Madrid. Chelsea for player no. E no kre waka yes e the Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid ne Chelsea twetwe nkomo no. Chelsea say ombeji 40 million euros for Renato Viaga. 40 million euros and Chelsea for say ombeji. Garnacho Chelsea, Aston Villa, Spurs. Omu nyina e pene boy ne pese otina England. Garnacho akodi nkomo. O si teams omu pene nyina de onye obebo pa ye Chelsea. Ohun Chelsea project ne se betima ball no Garnacho. Enti Garnacho ntu ne se onya Chelsea na ke no obebo pa ma na akoye e de amomo. Na me patchoma yen deny story we. Ebe to odwa weekend ne se Barcelona e per Real Madrid for Rodrigo me patcho no kra bi ani. Story na ebe to odwa se Barcelona per Rodrigo no kra bi ani.
Ba e no kra na be say o say you free na nipa no be kwa ebe no man go sit am na yi. And one day kushia mine.
One day kushia.
Basa ba ko play am. Who kushia mine. Na dia na okoka.
So mu kushia kra na is kana Real Madrid but Barcelona in pia. 700 million euros. By no kra bi ani Barcelona en fa be. Enkoy. Rasmus Højlund ni agent ne 14 so Italy kasa. Juve AC Inter Roma. Manchester United for say wow per Rasmus Højlund bro say somebody about 45 million euros. 45 million euros. Juventus Darwin Nunez en komo ekoso. Juventus ene Darwin Nunez. On say
we was 3 goals nti komo be.
And komo ekoso. Liverpool are willing to sell at the right price. Yes, at the right price. On say nanka oni Napoli de ye dam. By a bona Napoli de buy no. Na Liverpool for say or form. Ana Liverpool for about Juventus 60 million euros. Juventus for so muntimi ntua. Enti an komo penny loan obligation to buy for Darwin Nunez. Juventus so ake minimum omunis ka so de bia mo player. Juventus for say Benjamin Sesko deal no mo hwe. Omo techiri. Enti say Manchester United ntimi amfa Benjamin Sesko. Omo Manchester Juventus for ne behwe. Na Juventus Saturday na mbeka say PSG for per midfield or aggressive. Omo so mo pe Juventus midfield at ram. Ye be breaking story ne Saturday ene. Juventus a reply PSG for no omo say so mo pe Turama. Omo betua 120 million euros for Turam midfielder. 120 million euros. Story na yebe on Saturday no. And Juventus midfielder Turam. Almost on budget 120 million euros. Na Ken players BT ke kan Real Madrid do. Infinfin ho no. Fede Valverde, Jude Bellingham, Ada Goulet, eye Tchouaméni, omo ye safe. Kamavinga ni Ibrahim Diaz ke kan. Na ye city through ne Kamavinga. Se Real Madrid force akosan e midfielder ba Kamavinga 80 keka. Kamavinga ni ti keka e wo Real Madrid. Na Ali Barat agent. ono na say offer
say me most of the Tchouameni waje Camavinga position mami you say position e be di Tchouameni
abedi an ye
say the Camavinga mo dem from far was Tchouameni to dia ana jemechi unenya
on say Camavinga no oprai afina oba
bam Jamaica can say what two no pa dia na just Camavinga for
o enye from no oba oprai so we say we no Tchouameni na ya active Ali Barat oh ye agent ne ken say yes ono no offer Nicolas Jackson edema Arsenal bobuku no the same Ali Barat ana offer Xavi Simmons edema Arsenal na me no ka say Xavi Simmons ene Chelsea nkomo no emu aye den papa e ko nanim onim say
Xavi Simmons
on say Chelsea call Morgan Rogers no Aston Villa bought mu 80 million pounds ana Chelsea for say Morgan Rogers 80 million pounds ye wosoro ejade ne enko Xavi Simmons
Morgan Rogers ne Xavi one day happy
Premier League born the body anka won say Xavi Simmons ni bobo born the Xavi Simmons ni bobo yes born anka sa de and they say the Chelsea in common and Xavi Simmons
we know ba obeshayin Xavi Simmons obeshayin
I saw baby
common na Chelsea din na muska no makonya wa America no mba twa on person mo e ho wa njo on person mo nyo bi de muska no to na na say
oh say ni de omo per squad depth so for now no the main position of prefer pan be behind and as attacking me for the nti obetuma ba be ye obetina okupa ma echi dia ana match bi wo ho no mu decide so mema ko
tu Enzo na okupa ma
on to Enzo say oni Enzo role different we need more of offensive or yacha
70 million na metanche
na say ho na okutu no
ana mo penai
ampa de so also mpedom per squad depth enti nkomo ni mu aye den pa na onim say Konate akwahia Liverpool director Richard Hughes and odi atu nanim say ne terms and conditions ni say Liverpool for betimi dia obe renew Liverpool for aka kire Konate say by the end of August on be take your decision say on be accepting the terms and conditions na say on accept Bayern for aka kire Galatasaray say Kingsley Coman ye 30 million euros Galatasaray pay Kingsley Coman Bayern for 30 million euros Victor Gyökeres into Kwesi Victor Gyökeres and Sporting Lisbon for shall see exchanging legal letters. Oh yeah, me do be court. Oh yeah, me do be court. Me nyina na say boy no happy. Arsenal ka kire Gyökeres ni agent said ye Sporting Lisbon for na ye no omo nya happy. Now ni masere say Sporting Lisbon for aka kire Arsenal for say on betu scan for installment and on be charge omo 1.2 million euros. E dia ka ho. 4 million euros e dia ka ho. Say me no ka say Ederson Manchester City goalkeeper no. On say Man City person moton na Diogo Costa Porto for Abo City 60 million euros City for say wosoro omo chomba twa omo ho
60 dey cap at 80
60 omo atwa ana lives the so Abo Manchester United more than 69 million pounds for Benjamin Sesko
69 million
more than 69 million pounds I don't know add-ons nyambe ka ho on say Manchester ma Christopher Vivel and a leading negotiation why adwuma wo Leipzig and onim boy na and they say Sesko na nye dia two options only Watkins and Nicolas Jackson Manchester United
well nti Jackson ye Man United plan B
Oh it's true don't joke with it now Ali Barat transfer window why na business Ali Barat
what the players
and all did in house in Madrid no
the house in Madrid and I don't know far
Jackson or the Arsenal going free exactly Ali Barat is doing a good job. Here, Benjamin Sesko, there's no need.
Akuna Sesko Mbuemo. Why we are the second lady?
Look at you. The Sesko conversation, Christopher Vivel, whether he likes him or not. RB Leipzig for say 90 million euros. Or pay the release clause of 80 million euros. Sanya sir, now Benjamin Sesko why na kon home first. Mikel Arteta ni priority Benjamin Sesko. But Sikana Leipzig for no. It is not a matter of Menena Kasa meaning Benjamin Sesko, only Benjamin Sesko. A body is saying go and pay. Transfer no send any money sike kakono. Say Benjamin Sesko no kra kwame. Wo kon ho a on betu bo no.
Say.
Na Sesko ni bobo nchan ugu eketeke. The last 2 years why na abobo. Our Bundesliga 2 years in here.
Na Liverpool cover 90 million.
91. And nothing I may say Victor Gyökeres in one. Some boy no only ni agents Hassan second tire omunye serious bako. Omuna say boy ni did. Someone who scored 54 goals just last season. 54 goals. My boy will lose value. Say 63 million euros. This 63.5 no more discussing. Such a player. Abra, look at the market. What they share, place name move on who go eketeke when you faha a born in saying. No, Omama Joker say lose value to the extent as they say, as a boy any mom they desperate. Ah, you. Media Chelsea somebody a kid. Chelsea for Conference League, you boy no win 15 million pounds. And now no Club World Cup ko buy we Chelsea 84 million pounds. Nimi no cry 99 million pounds. I better Chelsea account we say be. Me sure say you be start season no mususu da say sika kese ba better account. So they had their plans. And the 99 windfall be asanso aba. Sika ba o. Sika ba we are then we spend it allow them. They say Isugo, Liam Delap, Joao Pedro, Jimmy Giddens. Boys no more for mono. You're heading around there 200 million. 200 yes, Ekekako no problem. But Atom Petrovic. On no said that Chelsea player who value the Biasao. What on 25 at the amount bomb of 4. Okay, what on only Madueke 52 million pounds at the amount Arsenal for. Me no can say Renato Viega Chelsea to 12 million and the dema Basel for and a cotton buy. Oko Juventus Chelsea for the loan fee 4 million. 4 million as a loan fee. On the Atletico Madrid for negotiate. The player turned 12 million. What's that? Who sika 4 million? No. On the Atletico Madrid year negotiations also be 40 million euros. Atletico Madrid the first bid the Chelsea fee. Second bid 35 million. Chelsea said that be 40 million euros. These guys they know how to sell. Now me, you see, Chelsea nim no nim tono. It is not solely on Podboli and then go because even Granovskaya no mo ton. If we say one kofoni mo jem. Say yes sir. Say kebi say Ian Matson no mbo bi Chelsea. Chelsea dey do call loan or Dortmund or buy o mo trash Aston Villa ni 44 million euros. Ian Matson na bo be no bo. Luis Hall, small boy and nam Chelsea left back here on boy be almost trash Newcastle ni almost 30 million euros. In think of one they know how to sell. If they sell, they get money, they buy. It's turn and turn on way.
I think say Liverpool saving because who go eketeke for 91 million a day. Seriously, we need next year say the transfers in this year. Because so be a credit player. I started with Kudus. And the teams in the BGA pass Tottenham Koto Kudus. 55. Yeah, Antonio players are.
Antonio
Elanga call Brentford for chance here. But me sure pass say who go dey. Say it become by first. One man can go for the BGA.
Oh, and the no credit.
Come BGA from Manchester.
And the no credit. Markets no.
If the national crown or Chelsea no limit wicked here no. One man can go be 60.
Oh, me know ya dream. Markets no start say na mo adwen ankoso. 2022. That one you yes no Liverpool no. Sika na say.
Is it almost
100 million?
10 million pounds.
Exactly. Now 75 million cash down. And at 25 on your add-ons. 25 add-ons no. A number of games over. But you see, propaganda into convertible pounds. Also, and you hit 100 million. I am shishebo. The reality was there was 75 million euros. Add-on said 25. The more he plays, first 5 games, 10 million pounds. 10, and I was also bought 60 games are now 10 million. Into games not what was so sir. It took a total package in the bomb. Now 100 million. 2022. 3 years down the lane. Say, and there down you yes now you cut 100 no. Until omumu. Anfa. Now they are going for another striker. 91 million euros. Markets they say. Column one be bought 1 season. Ewo Frankfurt. PSG to 95 million euros. Markets they say ache. I say ache. The hard drink, but when they can. The say Marcus Rashford in Barcelona the end. Me were issues in me to be raising kakra. First, the business aspect of the conversation, and the second one, know your footballing aspect. Now, you call the business aspects na kakra because when the Kwame raising issues, be or Kwame, you many being doing so kakra. Joao Felix, Oko Chelsea, loan. Boy, he insists on paying £10 million a year. Two. About Barcelona, pay and a quite whining salary so almost £346,000 as €346,000. Then do €400,000 and obey you Barca. Swampa said Barcelona, what they are doing today is to make sure so a wage bill no make cuts to me what. What say Barcelona bet you over €12.6 million at the amount Marcus Rashford a year play over bets na bench. Now some ya working why never get some way. Tio.
That's the figures about it.
So I feel people are not interpreting the word the figures right. Because still, first of all, loan plus obligation, yeah, the penalty shame. Example, Jadon Sancho to Chelsea, loan plus obligation, a loan free obligation. Chelsea for first to 14th, say Chelsea fall within the first to 14th position. Chelsea bet you £25 million at the amateur Chelsea. Say Chelsea super so opt out, mama 5 million. Me what you say, a mandatory. So if there's a go, it's got a penalty, that is fine because you are opting out of the mandatory clause. Now, coming option, have you seen such terms before? Because already, me your option whether to opt out or not. Why do I have to pay a penalty for opting out? Me patron komana mini would in what you say?
5.6, 5.4, 5.6. Several cent to me. 5.6. In 1 year.
It's gonna make us say now it's you because you say a mandatory there. Everyone understands because you are opting out of the clause. You need to pay penalty. But some could tell optional. Option Ben have to pay penalty again for opting out.
Yes, the deal me want to say a main deal for some which you are 30 million.
It's gonna make sure say any money be a maybe someone can confront yes ye. Because my wages na dey me minimum say boy ni ba 5 million. And kaya no almost spread the amount bonuses. The more you play, the more you earn. But the base figure is 5 million. That is his salary. Look, let me give you one example. Rashford, they call Aston Villa. No? Loan fee, free. They will 75% of wages Aston Villa for Bitia. 25. Yeah, man, you for Bitia and Mutia. But this deal, man, you for someone is to be a Mutia for boy in wages. Into Barcelona would have to sort it with the guy. And on the Rashford fire negotiations area, okay. Rashford bana obano una here basa Jesus here there but we are desperate to come into reduce your salary. Now reduction of salary, you know, I bet to say we are giving you base figure of 5 million and kind of bonuses. The more you play, the more you earn, the more goals you score, the more into your bonuses and I add it up to on one kasane 70% of the wages and I mean what you say. Let me explain once again. ABNT, I said, I'm a figures in brief. 80 million euros and not the whole year. 80 million euros, no. Your friend says 70% of 80 million euros gives you 12.6 million euros. What I say? And in command you for ideally, say, by Barcelona, you 70%, man, you for me to 30%. 30% gives you 5.4. In think, buy you for me to an idea, now Rashford should switch to an idea. But in this situation, boy ne eba or the body ama Barcelona are going to cover all his wages. All his wages, no. I want to go for confuse you more. If Barcelona are paying all his wages, and all his wages at Manchester United, name all his wages at Barcelona, his new club.
Because what is
exactly. Into I want to ask the confusing kakra aba.
Okay.
Now, say bottom line is say Oba ne aketua no Oba abeji obe born the ball. Sanyami adumuna Barcelona for air opti outer no clause na bas okay say sadia and ye 30% of wages na ye rate for the ye no wo Barcelona for ubetua de ama boy no via Manchester United
obetua United and obetua Rashford
ehon na nkomo no because say 30% ye hold the boy ni salary ye hold the 30% ah e was say sika no come akusu Rashford ho
jedi ntime so ko United
ntime susu say Eko United wa maybe it will come again to Marcus Rashford because yes sir clauses now any nchiremu na eba abonti unless Barcelona comes out to explain the thing because NCC so ye on a normal football transactions me wa to the micho yase from the clauses of mandatory or opting out penalty the mandatory is fine but if there's an option there then what is the point? It's in Yemeni Bebreo, I was saying Chemuba, but born Uncle Sunny Bonnet. Ken, the Etienne say, maybe not Xavi, you have fire and a power because Barcelona every day 1-0. But truth be told, Hans Flick has 174 goals. Why? Because created chances power. Femi Lopez, Bono or Mobi, and Seberia season, last season, we was about 19 goals. Inti Barcelona a team says here even from the bench we a clinical also goes say the benchmark is what Ferran Torres did 19 goals wait Barcelona win here skills especially Rafinha plays because Rafinha he's known and he's been being praised not for his skills and for the work rate Ken ejina korano so because Barcelona be create chances na di amount oh and since on say Rashford no the problem ain't your goal scoring no the problem your consistency why to say Joao Felix na it no goal scoring there it is not issue no he needs to be consistent he needs to work hard because Rafinha on your skillful and so you be your body D because his work rate is excellent. Marcus needs that kind of work rate, and again the benchmark is Ferran Torres. Gets his number of goals.
So say some goals now Ferran Torres. At least we be when you be 18, 19, to me but 20 na chances no more creating over 170 goals. Last season not just a young. Rashford into me more 20 from being so better than Fabric. Now you're about to know about 20.
Can
and I'll be no much for.
May assure sir, the Marcus Rashford I know, ever trying the best as a player. Obinion numbers
in terms of talent, we will be trained. Ferran Torres, Fermin Lopez, so Rafinha Krakuchi na sasa kakra. Omo season na kombe pe ana. Rafinha na
oh Nancy
Marcus Rashford omo na season na kombe pe.
Omunyina season.
Omu season na omo ba no.
Oh,
we be fa Hansi Flick.
Omu season kwa na make say na Rashford wo ni mu wodi. Yeah.
As a Hansi Flick na sasa.
And our transforming
players. Nti boy no as obi di Barcelona for na term. So when you play at Manchester United rigid. Once I say but it's football. Sabio obi be ka say when say football do stage ah. Edu ba bia odwen ho a wonte say ohun go esa be isu. E better na United ama Rashford yeah cat talent men ko bi obobosi talent obema Rashford akon fa ball and I know myself football give it to yes but then they see I'm the Rashford will be so a bad player or can stop so we
yes can
we have chance
of course but to compare him to other players or me established for Barcelona there I feel sir I would say Inya Botere Kakra because it is a new terrain. Rashford and Mohoda. And the players we are talking about, are you okay with the system and everything? And see, Marcus Rashford now or exceed the expectations. A plus at the player and Ankasa. But then again, so you're a Barcelona supporter. Can you have to be happy because Barcelona is doing some good business? Because Barcelona is good business and they are being strategic because all players at Barcelona sign one. When Barcelona is going for a top player, or Baba be a leader, team anymore, they go for what they want. But no one change. That's almost per backups. They go for options and not super boss backups. Marcus Rashford as the player clearly has been told per reporter one thing, and they say, "Oh, Baba be a backup to the Rafinha position." Can so be a backup to the Rafinha position? Yeah, signings be a Barcelona. Now I'm fan to say a year and I say a year. Marcus Rashford and then Ronnie Badji. Can say who your team now will build the team now will establish players already. Oh, call for backups. Backups no there was a way in pain be especially in the Barcelona situation. And it's a OBP player or yeah experienced. Now looking at opportunity now with the man no or you pleased with the opportunity. Now Kobasa out the bench compa uncomplaining. And also OBP young player. Only Dean. You happy so no so such a big opportunity in the club or Baba Remno. It will have Ronnie Badia. He's just 19 years. 19 years, Onyam born through the level. I play a friend say Lami Yamao. Lami Yama Baji Ding, do or a young Ronnie Baji and Nini Chino. But Lami Yama, it would dinch Ronnie Baji Bebre. It is a Ronnie Baji Barcelona and now or better not bench behind Lami Yamala. Ronnie Baji, a 19-year-old, only opportunity about Barcelona. He's not going to complain. And any gym post Barcelona team or mobile D. A strong team. Now you're possible to have when you Laurels or Baba be part of that particular team. Into a better bench or better than what to no what's a bench. Anytime he's going to be called upon and a 1 minute in power, no about no Baba be change over to me idea Bobo. The same thing applies to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford is an experienced player, but in the born out Rafinha airborne, Marcus Rashford is even more. But we are only free one more. Player has been told and clear. Say Oba Barcelona no Oba Baba backup. And the players accepted that. To the extent that what thing is in also. Obi ayaka the same ko be backup there. Ken ebi anka sika no Oba Baba hehe. Because boy you can be ayaka me say bia me ba me mobi. But player na jatum I make sure so be bibia so be kwa basa. Apart from sika what so from day one. There been a lot of offers about Brandt and Asye. But offer be a he told them say me pesa me ko Barcelona one time. That was what he told his management and his agent. Barca na memepe. And the team say no mo beba ni nyina no. Mo betimi ni o madi nkomo. Na mo mu hold it on. With some nkomo na be finalize ni dey there because we feel say Barcelona na me first choice a memepe. It is such a player. Looking at their tone of Manchester United, such a player. Okopie mo Aston Villa ken na enye bad. He played 10 matches in the Premier League for Aston Villa. O share 2 goals and assisted twice. 4-goal contribution from 10 matches. At this age, and the Aton of Manchester, no opportunity now Barcelona they man on one. He will be quiet to sit on the bench. On create problem or dressing room. And time be opportunity in the Babiano. Or Bebanwa Baba Bebo. And he gives options. And he plays every position. Until again for me, I don't see say a bad business na Barcelona here. There be play and na akaso be kwa prove. The NTM penny for decided to be father. Can moving on. Football no. Any sikasem. Sisi ene nenam. Se wiase nipa nyina dane moa. Na se wan dane bia. Ye be dane moa na wi ni ababa be cheware. Enti player bia team bia. As I saw shots ye pesika. When Liverpool didn't have money, omo ko fa agent club buy. Club buy or shall say to build the project in the Liverpool without sika because no more had the performance e was Dortmund with limited resources. What me born home dey the maboboko no and no dey ba on board. Manchester United got up over 89 million pounds. The agent club be na no can say ada ni team coach. Ebe spend this amount of money akwa to player sa da na obejai coaching. E didi mubaya and the agent club got to a goalkeeper with a world record fee 67 million pounds. And ordinary by Liverpool. And a man for chance to almost criticize it. Say, hey, your bad we are seeing now. You see goalkeeper ya turn about this say. Now one na wo cast maybe so team top players I can see how jai coach no. Or see the obi abeka bi emfa no. They said you come Manchester dey na emfa Manchester no. Because at that time, no I realize the stage na dey na iko no. After criticizing Pep Guardiola mo so mo buy on way through success no. He has understood the assignment. Say one year sika e be ya dey so obetimi maintain that top status. A sa level no na football na kwa kodro. It is all your team wa. The necessary o ye ne say o sha say wu pesika. Kwame Nkrumah forward ever backwards never no. And never football mu. Prices na ikọ na nim sa. Enti pebi ne tobi. Manchester United mu ni bi no mu ntimi ntobi no. Eno na man for twetwe omo no. Ken Liverpool ni Konate. There's been a meeting. Almodin komo say akwada no betimi extend the contract. Previously, now komo bi omo be di bia na akwada no nya ready so na adwene be ma Liverpool. But the moment obe decide say or the terms and the conditions e dey mark club ne dey. Na che say why ready so meeting the conditions na obetena bo oboko nim. nti akwala na aveli ne ho so only Liverpool beto aware ne so you Liverpool minim say Liverpool was looking at the spendings in the market now nti Liverpool betimi akwa abonten no akwa pay central defender wodin na the modern wo soro no de naba ababa be shim se Konate kwa nti nkanya problem but then again so when you player to say Konate obeba utimu ababa boy establishing him as a mainstay time at Auburn he was a player na onche than you know no one fete that top central defender status Liverpool na man is our platform no and ababa be born what they do that status we always talk about Van Dijk Liverpool bobo kunim but to be honest one player is so much underrated with Liverpool Konate most of the times Van Dijk will honor anything when you are the face of the club that's a success is about only building it is true it's the face of the Liverpool defense and Van Dijk it is a Paris Saint-Germain bobo kuna born homodin na ye player say em fa Ballon d'Or man who PSG near boss man Dembele din because he's the face of the team face near Van Dijk but Liverpool let you one player born homodin pa din Konate that consistent performance of the Bemau it is a man call and for Oscar the player you are going to bring in a player fe no so ba building a legacy in the status of Liverpool what is the guarantee so betimi abo ababa be do the stage of Van Dijk and the central defensive position with Liverpool na kwa go through if you can keep the player talk to him now the terms and all the amount meeting now branch and no one see a kind of because o man kwa cha kese na obaba be and there's no guarantee say be fa yes sir even when they meet the conditions because can say beginning no na on person be extended no more conditions bia but once our more conditions in the next affair no who meet conditions no better na
so bro Jane house so na
oh of course
that's house so be di ache
Real Madrid
obe di ache
ane dia
obe di ache obe ni di ne be bro so be so what you say so we ni go Martinez we ni bo ache
Debbie
how go ba so do Konate
Debbie
o mo ngina ni di nche ni sisi uzo me heavy ana o mo ba uzo ko fu so me heavy o mo ya top players on call Spain.
Said you almost jeje so ka ho.
Omo ye dey.
The almost jeje na.
That's what league. League.
League nko ha.
And now we mo Kubazi mo maje, omaje do at fufu ya.
Ken the hype around those players. And so you different. It is the kind of team na Liverpool e build and the person omo ye. Should they win the Champions League any idea? It puts you there.
You want to be one Champions League, go do semi final money ya odi ne baba. So, baba. Now no cross no say no mo dey chalo ba mo to yin na just for one on more fan anyway on more fan anyway and one just
I'm to ho am
a chala ba mo
e to ho am
Van Dijk
hey man e yeta
what was ball pass be you direct or jib ball free fear the for say no ball pass
Chelsea for okay
just for me so on the United
on Van Dijk
yeah Van Dijk here no be na
oh omunya abate
the ball is a pity team now one
omunya
we won't deal with the guy
sure
and we jump on boy top player
sure
our France in your yeah down omo ye down omo did omo come why come we say omo park as for me no me chill na omo de omo bo okay big
Ken
my boss says ya me wo go say bi o na ye be di won come okay